welcome to the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B, and I am so excited to be here this morning. It's afternoon now. So, again, I am so excited. Today, we're going to do the TV show in a little bit of a reverse. Because typically, when I come on initially, I give resources available to you. But today, we're going to cut that short. We're going to put that at the end of the show because I have someone in the studio who I adore, who is just a wonderful man. And I am so excited to have him here. And I have Hill Harper in the studio with me today.
I am so excited to be here. This is incredible.
Isn't it?
It's better than doing Jimmy Fallon, Tonight Show.
Man.
This is good. And you are an amazing host, and I'm so excited about this show. So thank you. Everybody in Highland Park and surrounding areas. We love you.
So I am excited because everybody knows Hill Harper as the actor. Everybody knows him from The Good Doctor and CSI and the movies, because I've watched quite a few of the movies, but we're not going to go that far. But I am excited because I want people to know Hill Harper. I want people to know who you are, the different facets of you. I mean, you just recently received another honorary doctorate degree, so congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
I saw that. That's number
9.
Jesus.
That's my 9th honorary doctorate. I'm very proud. I'm very humbled. You know what's funny about that? There was one of our legends that we don't talk about enough now. He's passed on, named Vernon Jordan, who worked a lot in, obviously, the federal government, worked with the Clinton family, Clinton administration. And I was at Howard University, where my parents went to grad school, and that's where they actually met. One of our great HBCUs. And I was getting an honorary doctorate from Howard, but I was sitting next to him, and he was getting an honorary doctorate.
Wow.
And I said, Mr. Jordan, how many honorary doctorates do you have? Because you're a legend. He said, man, I'm embarrassed to say. I said, how many? He said, 82.
82.
I was like,
wow.
So I said, there were years where you were like 4 graduations or 4 commencements. He was like, yeah, it was. So, it's 9. I'm very proud, very proud. And this last one was from Providence College, which is where the city where I went to undergrad. I went to undergrad at Brown University, which is in Providence. Okay. And so every time I go back to that city, I feel very nostalgic because that's where I went to college.
So I can call you doctor now, and it's official.
Yes. I say I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. Now I can say I am a doctor, and I play one on TV.
Yeah, you have 9, so
yes.
You're definitely Dr. Harper. So now I know that a lot of people, like I said before, know you as on television as the doctor, but you also are an author.
Yes.
Right? So approximately how many books? Because I know the book, The Letters to the Young Brother.
Yes.
I know there's the Letters to the Young Sister.
Yes.
The
Conversation,
The Incarcerated Brother,
Letters to the Incarcerated Brother, and The Wealth Cure. So there are 5 books total. 4 of them have been New York Times bestsellers. Letters to a Young Brother, my first book, Letters to a Young Brother, Manifest Your Destiny, won the American Library Association Best Book for Young Adults. And that book is, if I was going to think about my life, second only to adopting my son, the thing I've done that I'm most proud of is that book, Letters to a Young Brother, Manifest Your Destiny. A day doesn't go by where I don't get a reach out from a young man that said, this book changed my life, this chapter, this section had me rethink my choices, this one, some people say I read this when I was in prison or incarcerated and I came out and I didn't go back. That book and the follow-on book, Letters to an Incarcerated Brother, those books, the things that I've done that I'm most proud of, that I feel like I've been able to make the most positive impact and change in people's lives. And so certainly having the platform of an actor and a successful TV show. When I wrote that book, I was doing the show CSI New York. Having that platform helped get the book published and get it out, but it's really the content of hopefully how it helps. It's just mentorship on paper. And I had that when I was growing up. I read books that were mentorship to me on paper. And so that's what those books represent to me, and very proud of it.
That's awesome, because I haven't came out about this in a while, but
you're gonna write a book?
Well,
Okay, yes. Keisha
So-
B's book. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
so yes, I am writing a book. I'm writing a few actually. I have a series that's going to come out that is interesting because I know that you're big on financial literacy
Yes.
also, and the Lord kind of led me into children's book, and so I'm writing a book on financial literacy for young children,
Awesome.
teaching them about saving their money and opening a bank account and how to invest and so forth. So, speaking
I
of
want that. I need that for my son.
I'm
You know,
working
Pierce
on it.
is 7.
Yeah.
I need to get him a I've bought a couple financial literacy books for him. Now he hasn't read them yet, but I'm trying to get him to read them.
Okay. So, speaking of financial literacy, I know that back in 2000, I want to say 20 or 21, you came out with the app Black Wall
The
Street.
Black Wall Street app. Yeah.
What was the reason for you coming out with that app?
Yeah. In 1863, when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, black people in America held a little less than 1% of American wealth. Fast forward 160 years later, black people in America still hold a little less than 1% of American wealth. And most of our assets are held in cash. And since the government continues to print money and increase the circulating supply of the dollar, the purchasing power of the dollar is decreasing. So what does that mean? It means that if you hold most of your money in cash, even if you're doing nothing, you're getting poorer every day.
Very true.
So juxtapose that against the wealthiest communities, where you look at the asset holdings or the portfolio value of wealthiest people, they hold the vast majority of their assets in instruments other than cash, meaning ascending value asset classes. What are those? Real estate, blue chip stocks, 401ks, funds, investment funds, pension funds, other instruments, fine art, other instruments that the over time value increases faster than the pace of inflation. So what does that mean? It means that if we don't get our community out of a cash money mindset, and if we don't get people starting to think about themselves as owners, as investors, then there's no way we can build cross-generational wealth. And that it's not just black communities. These are impoverished communities, right? No matter what the race, white folks that are poor, Latino communities, immigrant communities, we tend to hold most of our assets in cash, and that holds us back. So my challenge was, could I create an app, since then most people have their phones, something that's very easy to use, quick to use, that can connect to a bank account, that can allow people to get out of cash and into other ascending value asset classes. And then if they need to get back into cash because they have a liquidity issue, they can do that without an onerous penalty, like going to a payday lender or a check cashing spot. Because payday lenders and check cashing places take so much money out of our community.
They do.
So that was the goal of it, and that's why we created it.
So I know it's based around, what was it, Bitcoin? Because I put a little bit of money into it myself. Because I downloaded the app after I saw you on.
Earn Your Leisure.
Yes.
And it wasn't, no, it wasn't based solely. The idea and the concept here isn't based solely on digital asset like Bitcoin. It was based on the idea that in beta, you got to launch a platform with certain, qualities to test it. Giving people access to a digital asset was the least expensive way to go ahead and launch the product. But the goal is to build out a whole menu of choices. Fractal shares of real estate. As an example, Highland Park. If we identified a building here, okay, at the corner of Woodward and name a street.
Manchester.
Corner of Woodward and Manchester. We purchased that building. Now we own a real asset, real estate. If we broke that up into a blockchain of a digital asset, many of the people listening or whoever's on the app as an example, they may not be able to afford at that moment to buy the entire building. But what if we broke it up into fractal shares on the blockchain and we sold, let's call it, we broke it up into 1,000 bricks, metaphorical bricks of ownership. And let's say that building was $1,000. I'm just doing for easy math.
Got you.
Each brick would be $1. So you give people an opportunity to invest all of a sudden in their community, in real estate, in this building. And maybe somebody can afford 10 bricks.
Yeah.
Somebody can afford 100 bricks. Somebody can afford 500 bricks. Some people only afford 1 brick. But they're all owners at different levels of this building. That's what blockchain technology is, and Bitcoin represents that version of blockchain technology.
Yeah.
So it's about educating and learning a mindset. So I wanted people to learn about digital assets, and and that's the beginning of that.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I know right now, especially amongst the Black community here in Highland Park, we do need to broaden our knowledge. People perish for the lack of knowledge. And at this point, I commend you for everything that you've been doing, because things like this is needed. There's not many people willing to go out into different neighborhoods, to sit down with people of different backgrounds, to go into places that others will not, and to educate and to enlighten and to encourage and to uplift and to empower, because those are a lot of the things that you're doing. And speaking on the empowerment aspect of it, many aren't aware of your activism.
Yeah, being an activist has always been a part of who I am, because I've always wanted to have positive impact and legacy. And legacy meaning the impact lasts beyond the presence of someone. That's why I want to have generational legacy. That's why I bought the Fisher Mansion. I didn't buy it to try to flip it. I bought it so I could renovate it and give it to my son, and hopefully he gives it to his children, etc. And so the activism piece for me has always been not about what you see on camera. It's about what you do for folks and in the community, and how you show up and being present. And so I'm very proud that I have been a tenacious fighter for people. When a need is presented to me, I show up and I do it, and I don't do it for the fanfare. I don't do it for Instagram. For instance, when I was working in Flint, doing all the work there to try to get people to understand why there was a lawsuit, how to sign up for the lawsuit, how to get their kids tested for lead, I wasn't there with the cameras, and I wasn't there for Instagram. In fact, a brother came up to me and said, "Man, Hill, so many of these celebrities come to Flint, they take a picture in front of the water tower, post it on Instagram, we never see them again. I'm so happy that's not you. You've been here. You keep coming back to the events. You keep holding town halls. You keep doing what you do." And then when the COVID hit, a lot of those people reached out and said, "Hill, the supermarkets are bare. There is no water. Can you do something?" So I called Iyanla Van Zant. We put together a fundraiser. She supported it. We raised, tens of thousands of dollars. We bought 2 truckloadfuls of water. And unfortunately, there was a 3-hour line of cars, and we were handing out water.
Wow.
To folks, because they didn't have any water at the height of the COVID crisis.
Yeah.
They already had water issues, then COVID just exacerbated that much more. And so the activism piece is about showing up and doing things that are necessary to show up.
Absolutely. Now, you've been doing quite a bit of work with New Era Detroit. So
New Era Detroit is doing great work. In fact, shout out to New Era, and shout out to they're doing a big summer fundraising campaign. So please, please, please go to their website, take a look at what they're doing around sponsoring kids.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you have lined up with New Era, or do you not have anything as of right now?
Well, as of right now, I just try to talk to Zeke Williams and to try to find out what I can do to support. He just sent me a text yesterday about their summer raise, and I'm going to lean in as a sponsor in some way. Have to decide what that sponsorship is going to be and what entity I'm going to sponsor through, but I want to be a sponsor for them, because to me, community organizations that are in the community doing the on the ground work are the ones that get supported the least.
That's true.
It's the big multinational nonprofits that get most of the government funding, and that's in part what we have to solve. We have to figure out a way to get money that's the people's money. Mm-hmm. Government money is the people's money. Yeah. And we have to figure out a way to get the people's money to the organizations that are doing the on-the-ground work. And we have to support those organizations.
So I know everybody that's watching this show right now is like, what about Highland Park? How can we get healed in Highland Park? And so there's many organizations here in the city that operate, especially programs like Parker Pride, who does the Michigan Week Parade every year. We have the Boys and Girls Club. We have the Ernest T. Ford Rec Center. We have all these different things here in Highland Park. And a lot of it is around some of the seniors. Some of it is around the youth. Even myself have an outreach that I do here in Highland Park and across the state of Michigan as well. So would you be willing, because I'm going to get you on camera. So would you be willing to show up to some of these events?
I will absolutely show up to events at Highland Park. I'm telling you. And even let's figure this. Let's talk about even more deeply. What about one of the most beautiful buildings in all of Southeast Michigan is that library on Woodward, right? Mm. That big, huge, beautiful building that's right there in Highland Park. Let's do something with it this summer, y'all. Let's show up. Let's clean it up. Maybe we do an event in the parking lot where we pull the weeds, we clean it up. Maybe we get some people out there to artists to do some murals. I don't know. Well, I would actually ask the people, what would you like to see us do? So let's do some things, because I always tell people, I can show you better than I can tell you. And when it's time to show up, let's go and show up and let's actually do something rather than talk about it. And so I just drive past that building and I see so much potential. I see so much need. And it just, breaks my heart, but I'm different than other folks who keep talking about, I wish things were like this. You remember how they were when they were like this. And you remember the future can be so much better than the past.
Absolutely.
But we have to make it so.
Absolutely.
We have to do the work to take it and make it that. And we can if we do it together. And that's the way I feel about anything. And so if you use a beacon of light like that building or choose another building, it doesn't matter where or what. Let's make it right. Let's make it better. And then you can create fractal shares of the building. True. And let the community own it, because remember, all of this stuff is here for the people. And that's what we get twisted sometimes. I think the people often think and been convinced by government officials that somehow they work, the people work for them, meaning the government tells folks what to do, how to do it, and they're actually in control, where it's actually the reverse. It's the people's house. All these streets are owned by the people. All the buildings fundamentally in a way are owned by the people. And if we show up as people together, we can actually impact these communities one building at a time, one block at a time, one city at a time. So let's do something and do some different things to engage in Highland Park. I'm committed to it. You got me on tape saying it. And it's just a matter of, let's ask folks. 313-868-0342 is your call-in number. 313-868-0342. Call in and tell us what you'd like to see us do in Highland Park. 313-868-0342 is your dial-in number.
Seriously,
we're live. This ain't tape. We're not on tape. This is a live show.
It is
So
a live
if
show.
you want to call in and tell us, what would you like to see Keisha B and Hill Harper do in Highland Park?
All right. Well, there you have it. He done put the call-in number out there.
313-868-0342.
He was very adamant about this call-in number.
We got to talk to the people.
We do, but you have to leave early. So I'm trying to be, courteous of your time, and you got people calling in. Now, if you leave, then what? But it's okay.
I'll call in and listen in because the number is 313-868-0342.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation right here on Highland Park Spotlight with your girl, Keisha B.
Muscles, joints, or feet tired, achy, or distressed? Tried everything? Ringmaster Rubbing Oil is a vintage topical pain reliever, trusted for over 70 years, with a rich formula for the treatment of stubborn aches and pains. Packaged in a glass bottle for purity, our liquid can also be used in warm water for foot soaks and compresses. A little goes a long way. Try our time-tested formula, available in several sizes.
Make a donation to WHBR TV and receive two 2-ounce bottles of Ringmaster Rubbing Oil for $25. Call 313-868-6612.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Is arthritis, rheumatism, inflammation holding you back? Even ladies' menstrual cycle pain? Order Hurt No More. It's all natural and it works fast. Go to 86pain.com.
I played in the NFL back in the 60s. We could have used Hurt No More after every game. I could have used something to relieve my pain.
If you've got pain, I've got the answer. Hurt No More. Wherever the pain is, it'll grab it fast.
86 to Pain. Go to 86pain.com.
Welcome back to the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B., and I have none other than Hill Harper in studio with me today.
Yes. Highland Park Spotlight. What's up, Highland Park, everybody?
And he's been real adamant about people calling in to find out, so for us to find out what the people want to do.
Because my thing is this, is that so many people, particularly government officials and these types of folks, they're always telling people what they either going to do or how they're going to do it or what they're going to do, rather than asking the people what they want.
Yeah.
What do people want to see happen? And then how can we facilitate that? And it doesn't always have to be a governmental solution, but the government is always a part of the solution. But it can be a private-public partnerships. It can be but my whole thing is always, how do we solve problems? How do we have impact and legacy? So we got to ask the people. What's that song?
Which one?
You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
What is that?
I can't tell you the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
You know.
But speaking of governmental officials, I wanted to give a shout out to the mayor. Glenda McDonald.
She
is awesome, and she's real big on community involvement.
Yes.
And she's been doing Walk the City with the mayor. She's done Coffee and Conversations. She's doing that every second Wednesday of each month. She does Walk the City every second Saturday of each month. And so, she's very big on community engagement and having people come out to do different things. So I believe that she would be a supporter of anything that we decide to do. So I'm looking forward to hearing what, the residents have to say, what the callers are thinking about, and getting their requests and hearing those conversations. But while we wait for people to call in, I'm going to go ahead and ask you this next question.
Yes.
What made you move to Michigan? Because I'm trying to tell you, look, oh, we have a caller? Okay, well, I'm going to take a pause on that question.
Okay, I'll answer that question in a second. Let's go to the caller.
We have a caller?
I can't hear him.
Hello?
Hello, yeah. I'm looking at the show, and I'm really inspired by what I'm hearing. But we need some real positive male role models for our young men. And Absolutely. I just want to get a commitment out of Brother Harper that he's going to be that positive role model, and he's going to be here to help us as they look forward to going into manhood.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. The reason why I wrote the book, Letters to a Young Brother, Manifest Your Destiny, was because I completely agree. Most of our young men are being raised by amazing, amazing single moms. And many of them don't have that role model in their life, that positive male role model. I'm a single father, right? I'm a single parent. So I know how difficult it is to try to be both mother and father. You're trying to fulfill both roles. And so you reverse it with a mother raising a young boy. It's not easy. And so I have a huge shout out to all the single parents out there. Huge shout out to all the work that you're doing and how difficult it is, because I know how hard it is. And so hopefully through a combination of people showing up, being visible in the community, books, and other types of engagement, we can show the best of ourselves. And that's what I hope to do, because I think about people who inspired me, the Paul Robesons of the world, the Sidney Poitiers, Harry Belafonte, who recently passed, God rest his soul, the Ozzie Davis, who I got to do a movie with called Get on the Bus. These are some of the best images of what a black man is, and I hope to aspire to represent that to other young men and young women as to what we can do. So I appreciate that call. And that sort of leads to what you talked about of why I chose Michigan. Michigan used to have a film tax credit program for media.
Absolutely.
And the Schneider administration got rid of it along with the Republican legislature. And that was a huge, huge mistake and a huge blow to our economy. But what happened was I came here to do a couple movies. And one was a movie that was produced by Rosario Dawson, who was in the movie He Got Game with me.
Love her.
She played Lala in He Got Game, and she's a wonderful actress, but she was producing this particular film. Came here, and I met some of the most amazing people I've ever met. People that have become lifelong friends. My buddy Derek Albert is a great example, and his son DJ is very close, good friends with my son Pierce. And I just said to myself, at that point I didn't have kids. I said, if I ever have kids, I want to raise my kids here because I want them to turn out like these folks. Very confident, but also humble, down to earth, kind, but also strong, no pushovers.
Yeah.
And there's a grit and an ability to survive of the people here. And so it was incumbent upon me to say, okay, now I decided through God and a number of things that came, I ended up adopting my son Pierce, December 19th, 2015. And then I set out to look for a house here because in my mind I was still like, you know what? I'd like him to grow up and end up like the folks here. So I purchased the Charles T. Fisher Mansion in Boston Edison, right next to Highland Park, literally.
Literally.
I mean, literally right next to Highland Park. So I'm in Highland Park all the time. My cleaners are in Highland Park. Shout out to Sunrise Cleaners in Highland Park. I hope they don't use harsh and bad chemicals because I'm wearing some of their cleaning right now. you know. But shout out to Sunrise Cleaners. I
Absolutely.
like you, and the people there are sweet. And so Highland Park feels like, that's my community as well, because I'm driving through it every day. I'm using services. I'm going to stores there, and I'm supporting the businesses there. But at the end of the day, I chose Michigan because of the people. And it hurts my heart that our state keeps losing a congressional district every 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts my heart that people are leaving Michigan. It hurts my heart that we haven't created advocacy to keep people here, to show people how great this state is, to show people how wonderful the people are, to recruit businesses here, to set up shop. And I want to be a beacon of doing that. I want to be an ambassador for the area, for the state. I've invested tons of money in this community and opened up have a business that I purchased in downtown Detroit.
Absolutely.
That's a coffee shop called The Roasting Plant. I want to expand and do more of these types of businesses. I'd like to open up a coffee shop in Highland Park, right? Because I truly believe that coffee is community. I truly believe that we have to have businesses that bring people together, that provide jobs for folks from the community, but also let people come together to discuss their passions and dreams. And I've always felt that one of the reasons our communities haven't had as many collaboration type of businesses, because many of us sit out on our own stoops, but we don't have common places to just gather and ideate. And so coffee shops represent that to me. They're almost like mini incubators where we can share ideas. And I'm going to work on that. If someone has a suggestion of where a coffee shop could go in Highland Park and they want to be a part of it and they want to invest and invest their time, sweat equity, or money, let's work on it together. These are the types of things I'm interested in doing. Collaboration.
Well, he put it out there for all to hear. He
That's
wants
right.
to bring the roasting plant to
A
Highland
coffee shop.
Park.
It doesn't even have
It
to
ain't
be the
gotta be
roasting
roast-
plant,
roasting plant,
right? Maybe
but,
somebody has a different idea of a new brand,
Okay.
right? It doesn't have to be. My shop downtown Detroit is called Roasting Plant. It doesn't have to be that. We can create a new brand. We can create something else. The point is, let's not limit it. It can be anything.
Okay. Well, I would be open to that. We need a coffee shop here. We have Dunkin' Donuts, which is right up the street, but in actuality, that's really like the only coffee shop that we have where we can go and sit and talk, and it's small, so when the mayor does her coffee and conversations, we're off kind of in the corner and it's kind of small. They don't have a lot of seating, but we make it work, right? So I'm excited about that, excited to hear about that. But let me ask you this. What are some of the issues that you see that faces our communities at large? And what do you suppose could be solutions to these problems?
There's a quote from my book, The Wealth Cure, where I say, you can't be free if the cost of being you is too high. And right now, in our communities, there's a high cost of being us in so many ways. If you're a single mom working 2 jobs just to keep your head above water, there's a high cost of being you because of the high cost of child care and early childhood care and the lack of early childhood education. There's a high cost of being a young person in our communities because our education opportunities in many of our communities aren't there. There's a high cost of being you as an adult if you're suffering from some type of mental anxiety, depression, or mental health crisis because the support services aren't there. And our number one mental health facility is our jail system, which is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
There's a high cost of being you if you're a young male who interacts with the police because the cost may be your life. And so there's a high cost of being us, and we have to reduce that cost in both social terms, mental health terms, physical health terms, and actual money terms. And there's a high cost of just living and finding affordable, healthy housing, right?
Absolutely.
I was talking to somebody the other day that said they had roaches, they had rats, and they had other vermin. They think bed bugs because their child had a rash on the lower leg, fleas, unhealthy living environments. There's a high cost to pay for that. And the cost is your health. So, and then people talk about food deserts. I call it food apartheid because deserts are naturally occurring.
True.
Apartheid is a structural or systemic occurrence. We have to identify these things and then collaborate to solve them together. And that's how I view it. And that's why I don't try to tell people what their problems are. I try to ask them and do the research and understand what the costs are that they're bearing, and then how can we lower their costs.
Okay, so would that be the one thing? So, hypothetically speaking,
yes,
if there was something that you could do right now for the betterment of the community, where as of tomorrow it's in force, it stands, would that be the issue?
If we were going to talk about one thing that I could just snap my fingers and improve for all, and that would be top quality, full services, comprehensive educational improvement. Because if you actually include all of that, that means it's multi-generational. So the adults have a chance to learn a new skill or trade, new information, a new way of making a living. The children are receiving top quality education. They're getting fed healthy food inside their environment, all the things that the top schools and vocational schools and everything has. That's because I think that creates instant change and impact in a community, because I truly believe you can't have social justice if you don't have economic justice. And so we have to solve that through education, training, trades, living wage, etc. So that would be the baseline. The other piece that feeds into that is obviously entrepreneurship. And all of these buildings that we see around Highland Park and in neighborhoods and communities that are bombed out, destroyed, empty, vacant. You have developers who own them just sitting on them, boarding up the windows and waiting to choke out the community because there are no community services. People move out and then they redevelop. You know, I'm interested, as an example, what is going in on, Woodward, right above Boston Edison, right before you get to Highland Park? There's a big construction thing happening there. What are they doing? And what is it for? And there's money going in that. Whenever you see the bulldozers show up and the big dig happening, there's infrastructure going in there. What are they doing? How can that impact in a positive way adjacent community like Highland Park? Is there something there that can be leveraged? We have to understand these things and then work together to hopefully create ancillary opportunities that radiate out from development and infrastructure.
Absolutely. So I know you have to cut out of here a little early, so I'm gonna be okay with that. But I know
you have to tell the people all the services that they need to have that you didn't tell them about at the beginning. I'm going to be listening in as we drive.
Okay.
I have to go to a memorial service.
Okay.
Shout out to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm a proud member of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I have to go to a memorial service for one of the Deltas who unfortunately passed, but had lived an amazing life.
Okay, so I forgive you for missing out on the rest of this show.
I told you I'm gonna listen in.
I know. But to kind of lighten the load a little bit.
Okay, lighten the mood.
We're going to talk about some weird quirks.
Okay. Let's go. Quirks.
So I know that there was one, it was pizza and fries, was it?
Pizza and fries. You could take, what you can do is you can take a slice. See, it's different depending on where you are. When you're in New York, slices tend to be a little bigger, right? It's flatter, bigger slice. You can take fries. And this is in my younger days when my metabolism was at a different level. You can take fries, and as long as they're the kind of the thin, good fries, you take them and you fold the pizza together over the fries, and you get a pizza French fry sandwich. It's very filling, and it's delicious. Because we'll do it like we're on a food show right now. The saltiness mixes with the savoriness. And then if you have a spicy pepperoni, the spices hit the palate with the sauce and the cheese.
Really?
And it creates a combination for your taste buds that's incredible.
Interesting.
You said you wanted to lighten it up. That's it. It can't get any lighter than that until you eat it. Then you heavy.
Yeah, but I just never would have thought pizza and fries. So
See, that's why most people aren't like me. They're not innovative like me. I'm thinking of new innovations.
Okay.
Well, the most popular food for kids is pizza. Second most
True.
popular is fries. You put them together, you got pizza and fries. That's
All
big
right.
business.
Have you put Pierce onto that already?
No. Yeah, I have. Pierce just if Pierce could eat pizza every meal, every day, that's all he would eat. Now, he likes good pizza, though.
Okay.
I'm not going to knock any businesses live on the air, but we know who they are. The ones that deliver the fastest. That's
Got
not
you.
the best pizza.
All right. Okay.
Because
Okay.
you could put a domino down and play some skulls.
What you know about that? But
Don't order the pizza, just play the game.
right. So, dang, it's already 12:41. Okay. So my last question is there anything that you want the audience to know? Anything that you want the audience to know about Hill Harper?
Sure.
Anything that you want them to know about anything upcoming?
Yes. Well, one thing,
floor is
the
yours.
main thing is that in the past few months, I've been traveling around the state, meeting with a lot of different people, going to counties in the west, the north. There's 83 counties in the state of Michigan. Some of them are tiny, some of them are large. And I've been trying to find out if and how I can be of service to do some of the things that we talked about around this idea of Choose Michigan and Michigan love and wanting to see a new type of leadership emerge for our state. And one thing that is there is that there is right now an open U.S. Senate seat that's going to come open for a Democratic primary August 6, 2024. And so a number of people have been asking me if I would consider to run for that seat. And so I've been taking serious meetings about that because the only way I would want to do that is if I felt I could have real impact and real legacy in that role and if I could represent people well. And so if anybody wants to give me feedback about that in any way, for me, please reach out. DM me on my Instagram. DM me on my Twitter. It's just @HillHarper. You can find me at either one. And tell me if you think I should consider running for public office for the U.S. Senate seat. And if I do, what do you want me to talk about or address? What type of federal legislation do you want to see pushed forward? And the one thing that's come to me for sure, Keisha, is that no matter what, I'm going to help build an infrastructure for the state of Michigan to organize people to support candidates that support them. Because the one refrain I keep hearing across the state is, once someone gets elected, we never hear from them again. Yeah. Once they're in office, we don't actually see something happen that's meaningful to us and our lives and our community. We can't tell the difference between Johnny, Jimmy, Annie, or whoever being elected because we don't see the difference in our community. And that can't be. We can't keep electing the same people or even different people that keep yielding the same result. And, the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing, expecting a different result. And it seems that that's what we're doing with our electeds. And I don't want to participate in that way. In fact, we're losing people. Because what are people doing? It's not that they're finding new people to run and finding new people to support. They're checking out. They're just not voting. You talk to so many people, they say, man, it doesn't make a difference. I'm out. Why should I care? Why should I show up when it doesn't matter? And we have to let people know that they and we can reclaim our power, we can reclaim our vote, and we can put people in office that will make real difference and real change.
Ooh, that's heavy. So, U.S. Senate seat comes available. My sister is calling me right now. Lord have mercy, right here on live.
Tell her to call 313-868-0342. She shouldn't be calling you live on your Apple Watch. I don't even have an Apple Watch. I got a Shinola watch.
Well, your watch is more than mine, so what you talking about?
No, it's not. You ever go to the Shinola outlet?
No.
There is a Shinola outlet. Yes, you can go.
I didn't know that.
It is. It's out by Topgolf.
Really?
Yeah, it's right out by the outlet. There's an outlet shops out by Topgolf. My son loves Topgolf.
I do too. All right. Sounds good. I know where I'm headed out next. But the U.S. Senate seat will become available. You're considering.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm seriously considering and doing my due diligence, taking my meetings. You know, it's not something that I take lightly at all. And it's a very big life change for me. But to be able to potentially, it would be a historic election.
Absolutely.
There's only been 11 African-American senators in the history of the United States, and there's never been one from Michigan. So to be the first African-American senator from the state of Michigan and the 12th in the history of America would be historic. And also the simple fact that folks need real representation and a new and better brand of leadership. And what's worse still, for the first time in 57 years, Michigan does not have a black Democratic representative. And if that doesn't cut into your heart, it means we're going backwards, y'all.
Yeah.
And we cannot allow that to happen. And we cannot allow the national people to tell Michigan who should be in that seat. Michiganders deserve a choice.
All right. So on that note, I know that you have to leave. It is about 12:47, 12:45-ish. So we're going to take our last commercial break. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you, Keisha B. You're incredible.
I really appreciate you showing up today.
You're better than Jimmy Kimmel. You are a great.
I hope so.
You are a great host. And at Highland Park, we love you. Please stay in touch. DM me on my Instagram at Hill Harper. Hit me in Twitter at Hill Harper. Please reach out and let me know your thoughts, seriously. And that's the beautiful thing about technology today, is that folks aren't out of touch and out of reach. And we need to bring that to our government. Our government officials have to be touchable and reachable directly in a transparent way to actually represent the people. And I believe that, and I try to live my life that way in my own life. So please reach out to me through my Instagram or through my Twitter, and we'll make sure that we respond and be responsive.
All right. So on that note, we're going to take our last commercial break. And when we come back, I have the resources available for you. And again, Hill, thank you so much.
Thank you. Give it up for Keisha B. Yeah, Keisha B.
We'll be back right after this.
Woo, we'll be back with what? The resources.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
Muscles, joints, or feet tired, achy, or distressed? Tried everything? Ringmaster Rubbing Oil is a vintage topical pain reliever, trusted for over 70 years, with a rich formula for the treatment of stubborn aches and pains. Packaged in a glass bottle for purity, our liquid can also be used in warm water for foot soaks and compresses. A little goes a long way. Try our time-tested formula, available in several sizes.
Make a donation to WHBR-TV and receive two 2-ounce bottles of Ringmaster Rubbing Oil for $25. Call 313-868-6612.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Is arthritis, rheumatism, inflammation holding you back? Even ladies' menstrual cycle pain? Order Hurt No More. It's all natural and it works fast. Go to 86pain.com.
You know, I played in the NFL back in the 60s. We could have used Hurt No More after every game. I could have used something to relieve my pain.
If you've got pain, I've got the answer. Hurt no more. Wherever the pain is, it'll grab it fast.
86 to Pain. Go to 86pain.com.
Welcome back to the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B. And if you're just now tuning in, you missed an incredible show thus far. Hill Harper joined me here live in studio, and it was awesome. He did speak on him thinking about running for the U.S. Senate seat for the state of Michigan. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to him via his Instagram and Twitter at Hill Harper. But I did want to take the last few minutes that I have with you to give you the resources that are available. For some that do not know who Detroit, Say Detroit is, they are the Family Health Clinic here located in Highland Park. The Say Detroit Health Clinic actually does not accept walk-ins at this moment. However, if you do not have health insurance coverage, you may be seen here at the Say Detroit Health Clinic. They offer specialized care in internal medicine, physical therapy, health coaching, and nutrition. They also have some services available for first-time moms, or if you have a newborn, if you are the grandmother, the grandfather, the father, it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you are the guardian of the newborn, you would have to reach out to the clinic in regards to that service. However, they offer support services such as housing and utility assistance, food and clothing, and other medical needs through their referrals program that they have. Again, Say Detroit Health Clinic, which is located at 211 Glendale. Their phone number is 313-758-6100. Again, 313-758-6100. This is the Say Detroit Family Health Clinic. Before you make an appointment, please make sure that you have a list of all the medications that you're currently taking. Also, bring your medications to your visit and make a note of your preferred pharmacy, including the name, phone number, and address, and bring any documents you would like completed to your appointment. So again, this is for the Say Detroit Family Health Clinic. So there's a few events coming up. One event I am extremely excited about because this is the City of Highland Park Police and Fire versus the Highland Park residents. And we already have 10 residents that signed up for the game. The roster goes out today. The roster will be put out by 4:30 p.m. For the Highland Park team, the police and fire team, the roster will go out tomorrow by 4:30 p.m. And I am so excited. The game is May 26th, which is this Friday at 12 o'clock. The game will be located at the Ernest T. Ford Rec Center, 10 Pickin. You do not want to miss this game. It's going to be so much fun, and I am so excited because police and fire versus these residents is going to be hilarious. One thing I do want to say is, residents, players, please do not try and take out the fire department. Please do not try to take out the police department. We need them to be able to work after this, so please take it easy on them. But I'm excited for the game. Next is the City of Highland Park and Village Detroit presents the second annual I Know My Neighbor Family Fun Day at the park. This event will take place on May 27th, which is this Saturday, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Alvin Casey Park, which is located at 251 Monterey Street in Highland Park. There will be food available between the time of 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. until it lasts. There will be music, basketball, jump rope, horseshoes. Oh, snap, horseshoes, cornhole, volleyball, face painting, kid tattoos, 50/50 raffle, sponsor giveaways. So there's a lot of activities that's going to be present at this event. Again, this is the second annual I Know My Neighbor Family Fun Day at the park on Saturday, May 27th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Casey Park, located at 251 Monterey Street. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about is the Dreamweaver Project. They are presenting the Highland Park Slow Roll. So if you ride your bike, if you like to get out and ride, this is for you. I am so excited. I wish I had my bike. I might have to go get me one for this. But the location, they're going to start at the Woodward Ave Bar and Grill, located at 12,000 Woodward here in Highland Park. Registration will be on the patio in the back of the restaurant. So please show up. It will be on June 3rd from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Registrations, however, are from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. to join the slow roll. Please come out, bring your own bike, bring a helmet if you so choose to do so. All ages are welcome. If you want more information, feel free to call 313-306-7440. Again, 313-306-7440 for the Highland Park Slow Roll. They're going to start at the Woodward Ave Bar and Grill, located at 12,000 Woodward. I do want to say thank you for tuning in today's show. If you missed the show, we're going to have the replay online for you. You can find it on the YouTube channel for the City of Highland Park and also through WHPR TV Detroit. Shout out to RJ Watkins. Shout out to my engineer, Tim. I appreciate every last person that was here today. Shout out to Henry. I just appreciate you guys so much. And you have been watching the Highland Park Spotlight. I'm your host, Keisha B., and I will see you guys next time.